Hello.
What's happening?
Howdly diddly.
Hidely ho there, Nate Marino. That's all I got. I don't have any other voices on standby.
Moo.
Damn it. Stole that. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Battle Bros podcast with Mac and Alamo. My name is Mac. This is Alamo. Hopefully, you are doing very, very well tonight. This Friday evening,
There we go.
March 20th of 2026. It is kind of a little bit of a somber day. We'll get into that in just a minute. If you're joining our show for the first time, glad to have you here. Thanks for stopping by. We are two friends that have been friends since high school, which is longer than either one of us cares to admit. And we talk
Mhm.
about military and veteran community related topics that can be a little bit taboo at times, but need to be discussed. So,
Indeed. Just so you're aware there, Brohim, we have officially hit the 25-year mark.
have we really?
Yeah. Yeah. When you known each other long enough,
Pretty much.
go.
So, yeah, if you want to check out more of our stuff that we have online already, you can go to our Facebook page and just search. I'm sorry, not Facebook, but YouTube page. You can just search Battle Bros Podcast. We have all of our episodes up on that page, all 126, and then this one is streaming live as we speak, and will be up and available after we end the broadcast. I can't even talk today, dude. Jesus,
It's all
this
good, man.
this
You're on
this
antivirals and all that. You just had teeth pulled, man. It's good.
man, that and the spring break, man. I'm off my freaking. It's weird. So
Dude, considering how close you are to the coast, it's not hard to go out there. Just take a walk.
oh, I know.
That's what
You're
I
not
did, dude.
you're not
Every
wrong.
single time, bro.
You're not wrong. You're not
Nothing
wrong.
clears the head like an ocean breeze and the sound of the waves just rolling on the sand, dude.
Yeah, but then you got to pay to park to go out there because there's nowhere you can go to easily. You can get in for free unless you really go out of the way. And I don't want to drive that far. I'll just go for a walk in my
It
neighborhood.
depends. It depends, but I get what you're saying.
So anyway, yeah. So like I said, we've been doing this podcast for a little over 4 years now. Started off as a passion project. We'll kind of explain that a little bit later on. So before we get into everything, like I said, feel free to check out our social media. We're on Facebook, we're on the X, we're on YouTube. These are the primary ways you can get in touch with us or check out any of our previously made content. Um, we also had last week's episode, which was 126, entitled Moral Injury. Please check that one out. That was a good one. We went a little bit long on that one, but it was a good conversation. So before we get into tonight's topic for episode 127, let's go over a little bit of the news. As I mentioned, a little bit of a somber day. The unthinkable has happened. Chuck Norris passed away yesterday at the age of 86 years old. Not even joking about this if you're not aware. Chuck Norris, obviously well known for his martial arts abilities and movie career as well. It was also a Air Force veteran. He was an air policeman back in the late 50s, early 60s. I think he was in for 4 years. Let me just double check that real quick. But it's actually before it was called security forces, it was called the air police. So he was an air policeman. And I want to say he was stationed somewhere out in, here we go. I got it pulled up right here. So he joined the Air Force in 1958 as an air policeman and was stationed to Osan Air Base in South Korea. There he acquired the nickname Chuck and began training in Tang Soo Do. After returning to the U.S., he continued serving as an AP at March Air Force Base in California. In August 62, he was discharged from the Air Force with the rank of Airman First Class and then applied to be a police officer in Torrance, California, and also opened a martial arts studio and began competing in tournaments. He ended up becoming a black belt in several different practices, including karate, taekwondo, tang sudo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and judo. So he also formed his own discipline called Chun and then ended up kind of getting into Hollywood films and stuff. One of his most no notorious roles that he had was in the movie Return of the Dragon opposite Bruce Lee, in a very famously infamous and classic martial arts fight scene between him and Bruce Lee. So check that out. But yeah, he passed away in Hawaii at the age of 86 after having some type of medical emergency. That's all the details that we know now. But again, Chuck Norris passed at the age of 86, which is
You know, I once heard
crazy
it
to think about.
said, Chuck said that he doesn't age, he levels up. And I don't doubt it.
Oh, he
I
leveled up big time.
He leveled up to the big time. And let's just be honest, I'm going to be looking forward to when we see Hurricane Norris coming through, because he did a roundhouse kick in heaven.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's a big one.
Hmm.
It's crazy, man. The older you get, the more and more freaking your idols and stuff are slowly slipping away. It's just like, ugh. Hulk Hogan,
Yeah,
this guy. It's just like, damn, man. It's wild.
it's going to be a
It's
hell of a
even
day when
crazier when it's
Marty goes.
somebody. It's even crazier when you went to high school with somebody and they're like younger than you and they passed. I just saw somebody was in I think it was your class.
Hmm.
Alan Akins told me about somebody a while back. My buddy Alan. Um, I don't remember her name offhand. I know she was a couple years behind me. But yeah, it's big
Kayla?
deal. What's that?
Was it Kayla?
No, I knew about that
That
one
was
already. This
another
was
one.
somebody that was in like the band program with us,
Ah,
with
okay.
Jamie and all them. I forget her name right now, and shame on me for not remembering. But also in the news, we also have they have come out with some information. So last week we talked about a unfortunate KC-135 Strato tanker that had went down in western Iraq, where all 6 crew members on board were lost. There is now news coming out about another KC-135 that landed, I want to say, somewhere inside of Israel or another coalition nation in the region that had damage to their vertical stabilizer portion of the tail of the aircraft. So I'm not certain if the one refueler was giving gas to the second refueler or if they collided somehow, but there was another KC-135 that landed that had some visible uh, damage to its vertical stabilizer of the tail section of the plane. So that may be as to why that first plane went down. So um, never an easy thing when we send troops in harm's way. So I mean, it could
Yeah.
be something as routine as a refueling mission, a training mission, and still things happen. So um, please keep your thoughts and prayers. Keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers. Those families of those 6 service members lost, and anybody that's in harm's way right now across the world. So,
For sure. For sure.
and that's all we got for news right now. So this week, for episode 127, we are going to be talking about the subject of value. Now, we kind of have to follow a little bit of a straight and narrow path with this one, folks, because of the fact that you could go off in a lot of different directions with this. You have intrinsic value, you have self value. We're just kind of talking about values as traits, okay? As things that you learn or things you've already had with you. So let's give a definition to value real quick before we get started in our conversation here, shall we? So, value to it's the I'm sorry, I was skipped ahead here in my notes here. So first we have the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. Second, a person's principles or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what is important in life. And then using that same word as the verb part of speech, we have to estimate the value. I'm sorry, to estimate the blah, blah, Jesus. Oh boy. Estimate the monetary worth of something, and then to consider someone or something to be important or beneficial, have a high opinion of. Okay. Now, values are going to be something that you either form down the road or it's something you're going to have with you already. Okay. So, like when we're giving the example, we're kind of working off of the example here of when someone joins the military. You're going to have your own core values. All right. And then you're going to kind of learn about that specific branch's service related. Was that you?
I was
Boom.
I was
Oh, you had a
grabbing this, and then all of a
nice.
sudden it just goes clang. I'm like, oh crap.
I just heard a
Oops.
boom in the headphones. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? So, as I said, you're going to have your values that you've had instilled in you already, and then you're going to have the values that you learn about and then adopt on your own as being part of a branch of service in the military.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So, for instance, anybody that was in the Army knows about the 7 Army values of leadership.
Mhm.
Leadership, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage.
Personal
Right.
courage. Mhm.
So I went ahead and looked up all the other branches as well. So for the Navy and the Marine Corps, you have honor, courage, and commitment. For the Air Force, you have integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. For the Coast Guard, you have honor, respect, devotion to duty, and then for the Space Force, you have character, commitment, connection, and courage. So that was one of the things like you get drilled in, very, very early on, when you're a brand new private and stuff, you have your, what did they call it?
Ethos.
No, that little book you had to carry around with you all the time.
Oh my gosh.
I want to say let manual, but I'm like, it's not let. That's leadership and education training. I'm like, that's
Yeah, that was
ROTC.
ROTC. Yeah.
What do you call that?
I still have it somewhere,
Yeah.
and it's like the late edition where it's like got the guy with the face camel painted on with his freaking with the old K-pots. Yeah, still got one of them
What
bad
the
boys.
hell are those called, man? Like,
I
it's
don't
gonna
know,
bug
dude.
the crap out of me.
Absolute
IET
brain fart.
handbook. The IET,
IET. Yes, I still have that. Yeah.
individual education and training, I believe it
Yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sure you're right. Yeah.
The initial entry training, that's it.
Initial entry training.
Yeah, it had the guy with the K-pot on. He's got the specialist rank on. He's got
Yep.
camo at all stuff. Yep. I
Yes,
don't know
sir.
what mine went to, but the ones nowadays look pretty nice. Like they all got all color and they're all spiral notebook and
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, dude.
Yeah. The young bucks going into the freaking military now don't understand what it was like having like that old black and white stuff where it's just like, yeah. Like I got like so many field manuals that I like either
I made the mistake.
commandeered
I
or
made the mistake of
strategically,
lending somebody my
you know,
7-8. Never saw it again.
yeah.
I do want to get a copy of the Ranger Handbook because there's a lot of great knowledge in that, like knots and field craft and all that kind of stuff. I want to get a copy of that sometime soon.
Yeah.
So
I got the rifleman's handbook. I got the just for giggles, I got the sniper handbook, just because there's a lot of good fundamentals in that bad boy.
I think I've got the survival manual for like
I have the survivor manual too.
every once in a while you get bored, you kind of start thumbing through. You're like, huh, didn't know that.
Yeah. Especially when it gets to the point where it talks about like the different types of berries that are good for you and like the ones that aren't. And that's actually really important, especially if you're stuck in the woods. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And just like field expedient ways to make things happen. Like, if you want to stay warm, you get like a whole bunch of leaves.
The amount of instructions on knots, just knots in general, were like in that manual, fantastic.
100%. So yeah, and it's funny how you find the value in all that stuff. You look through it now, going back, like, man, I could have learned a lot of this stuff. It's like, holy crap! And it was of important value to you then, should have been, but you might not have learned everything at the time. But anyway, so
facts, bro.
right? So again, we're kind of running off of the example of the particular situation where you have, the individual values you've already carried, your core values. Now, core values, I want to bring up that definition real quick. So core values are, where the hell? Hold on, eyeballs already getting goofy.
Right eye, left eye.
Both of them. Core
Oh,
values are going to be the fundamental, deeply held beliefs and guiding principles that dictate behavior, decision making, and culture for individuals or organizations. Okay. So, primarily, we're talking about the individuals right now. Okay. So, you're going to have your own core values. Then you're going to learn some from your specific branch. Like for us, it was the 7 values of leadership. Okay. Um, so, I mean, you're already going to have what inside of you, your own belief system, and then you're just going to
yes.
augment that with the system, with the how should I put it, with the service values that are going to be instilled into you by the powers that be. Okay,
Yes.
if you don't already
And
have those,
and you know what's cool, dude?
what's up?
I actually watched something on it- I don't remember what the hell it was. It was narrated via AI, but I mean it's created by it's created like basically, you know how you can actually record your voice and like your voice through the power of AI is like narrating a video for you. Like how they have
Kinda,
software that could do that.
kinda.
Well, they have software that can do that now, and I guess like I didn't watch it. I didn't subscribe to them only because you know I'm like, dude, like just narrate your shit. Like, I mean, I get it. You're probably doing it for expedience. You're doing it so you can crank out the videos, but at the same time, just anyway, this besides the point.
You talking about like videos you watch on like YouTube and stuff?
Yeah,
I hate that because like they
yeah,
just make
man.
they mispronounce like easy words, or it's just like
Like the .50 caliber machine gun. Like, dude, just say 50. Just say like, don't use AI for stupid crap like that. But either way,
you could.
it was
There's plenty of people that could do voice acting or reading stuff. Like just send it to them and they'll do the
yeah,
stuff and they'll know what the hell they're talking about and it won't sound
exactly.
dumb. Where you hear that, I hear that on a video. I'm just like click, gone.
Yeah. Well, in that video, he was talking about like how the values of the United States military, like specifically the army and the German army, how they were so uniquely different. But the way the Americans worked and like and the way that like basically the American army was so terrifying to the Germans because of how specifically, you know, our values kept us in this aspect, kept us or not aspect kept us in this kind of like uh trying to think of the word. Well, essentially, since we're individually since we all have our individuality, right? We have all individually different values. Basically, the US Army's doctrine was catering to people that see themselves as individual fighters but as members of a team. And the reason we were so successful is because where Germans solely relied on their officers to basically be able to take control of the battlefield. And let's not be crazy about it. I mean, they were really good at it, like for like the first maybe 2 or 3 years of the war. Americans dominated the battlefield specifically because due to how many due to how the individual soldier fought, we learned the job of the corporal ahead of us, and then the corporal learned the job of the sergeant ahead of him, and then the sergeant learned the job of the lieutenant ahead of him, and
Yep.
like our value system making like it allowed for improvisation and it like because of the individual person,
Yeah.
every individual soldier, because of how because of how he perceived different situations, we were like it made us a highly adaptable army. And
Sure.
it was absolutely fascinating hearing about that kind of stuff.
Well,
Clip that.
not let me interject real quick if I may. I mean, look at like when you watch Band of Brothers. when they go through and they're doing the briefing on Operation Overlord, they're not just learning about their unit. They're learning about every single unit involved, what their sector was, if they're on,
Yes,
dog sector, Omaha sector, whatever the case may be, what their specific job and their tasks and stuff are. Just because, and I think that was crucial because they had so many losses that they took from the seaborne invasion, from the airborne invasion as well, that they had to have, these guys would come together, form piecemeal units of a couple of 2, 3, 4 guys, and they'd go off and cause trouble because they knew every single person's job, every unit's job that was part of that whole entire operation. And I think
yes,
I
sir.
think another portion of that too, and this is just my personal belief, knowing what I know about the military nowadays, you say the Germans were kind of heavily dependent upon the officers in their ranks, whereas we rely quite a bit on the NCOs in our ranks, in our rank and file and stuff. I mean, yeah, we the officers lead and stuff, but when you get down to the foxhole level, man, it's the guys with the stripes that keep shit going. I'm
Hmm.
not trying to, yes, the lieutenants and the captains they command, but the sergeants lead.
Yes, sir.
And
Sure enough,
I'm
do.
sorry, and you're never going to change my opinion on that. Nothing, no disrespect to the officers, but I also think that's why the best officers are Mustangs, guys that
Mhm.
were NCOs, and then they went and became and put on bars and all that stuff. They understand both sides of it and how it should work cohesively, and just have that fluidity to make things happen no matter what.
Yes,
So,
sir.
but anyway, do you have anything else you want to add on that?
No, no, it popped up in my head when we were
Sure.
talking about like how the value system and like because individual again the individual person has we all have separate value systems. We all believe differently about how we see the world and what we perceive is sometimes good, sometimes bad. It just all
Right.
depends.
Absolutely. So another kind of scenario I want you folks to picture as well is think about this. So you have somebody that, I didn't turn that off. Ooh, shame on me.
Ooh.
I am so sorry. That was.
Just made me think about like the fact that I think my alarm is about to go off in like 6 minutes. I'm gonna have to shut that damn thing off.
Oh, is that for when you're on the road and stuff at 9:30?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about it because we got into talking about other stuff. Um, so the scenario I want you to picture, imagine somebody that comes from a household where they may not have the best type of influence from a and it doesn't just have to be the male role model, like a dad. It could be the mother. It could be whatever. They just they're in some kind of situation where there's not the best kind of influence to build them into young adults and all that kind of stuff. So they don't really have a good sound um, framework of values, so to speak. So
It's got to
these are
be
the kind
instilled
of
in them.
it's got to be instilled in them. So these are the kind of folks that go off and join the military and they thrive and do very, very well because they have a chance to do a job, be trained to do a job, do it well, and then eventually work their way up through the ranks and and succeed and exceed expectations of themselves or organizations and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, I've seen it happen quite a few times. There was a guy I went to basic with where
They excel.
we kind of made fun of him a little bit, but he was from, small town of nowhere. And I hope he did very well for himself in the military while he was in. So, but, uh, but yeah, so
I get it, dude. I mean, the same here. Like, there's guys that were in my platoon that, let's just say, they were not on the greatest of paths, and they chose the military path and completely changed their lives, completely turned their lives around, man. Sometimes you just need that kind of like, I don't know if it's like kick in the ass or just
a nudge, just
you just need
a little bit of a nudge in the right direction, a little bit of
yeah,
course correction
to push you towards greatness, and towards a purpose that's bigger than yourself.
to fulfill your potential.
Hmm.
100%. So we wanted to give some examples of just some different values that somebody might have. And again, besides the service specific values that are laid out for you, you can find other values as well. Like we talked about with moral injury, there are some times where something that happens can go against your core values and your core beliefs, and it can cause, like, it just stays with you for a long time and causes a moral injury. um, you can find other values as well, just from being around other great leaders and great mentors that you've had in the service. God knows I've had plenty of them during my time in the military, both overseas, both um, also here at home and stuff. Just different kind of leaders, different strokes for different folks, kind of things. So I found a good list
Sure.
of values. Don't need to pull it up, Alamo. I'm just going to read these off. It's not really a whole lot that we need to share or anything, so I'm just going to read
Really?
these off that list. So this is an article that we found. I'm just going to kind of go down to the different personal value examples that it has. This has a list of about 30. I'm just going to read through those real quick, just for different types of values and whatnot. So, altruism, selflessness for the greater good of society. When you help another human being, you're committing an act of altruism. Dependability. If you're dependable, you are a person that others can rely on. Valuing dependability means you enjoy that trait in others or exhibit it yourself, sometimes both simultaneously.
Mhm.
Integrity. This is a big one. I think nowadays as well, just not so much. I think kind of for the younger generation and stuff, I
Yeah,
think this kind of should be, pressed a little bit. But integrity is having integrity in the workplace and at home means you do the right thing even when no one is watching. Telling the truth comes naturally, and you likely don't talk behind other people's backs. I don't know about the last part, but
dude, dude. That and see, that's the thing is like I don't like.
the reason I say that, while you're thinking of what you're going to say, the reason I say the whole integrity thing, a lot of folks nowadays, like, if no one's looking, they want to take the shortcut, and it's
Yeah,
like, you got to see things through and do them the way you're supposed to do. Why don't you do this? Well, that's not the way you do it.
exactly.
You know.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm sorry,
and
I didn't mean
a
to cut
hundred,
you off, dude.
no, 100%, dude. Like, because the way I see it, integrity. Like, I have this thing where you know, and my wife will tell you, just because of just because we worked in the same place for quite a few years. I say all the time, you can question your own integrity, but damn it, don't ever question mine. And I say that because the way I operate whenever I'm working or whenever I'm doing, you know, it doesn't matter what it is. I try to do whatever that thing is to 100%, like the fullest. Like I try to do the absolute best I can and everything that I try to do. And the reason I do that is because number one, I don't want to look like a chump. Number one, number two, I also you know I also don't want to feel like ass about myself later on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, I could have done that way better. You know what I mean? And even
Yeah.
still, even when I'm doing what I feel like is my best, kind of like doing that AAR in my head later on, I'm like, I feel like I could have done that
Uh,
a little bit freaking better.
I am my own worst enemy when it comes to that stuff, dude.
You know what I'm
Jesus.
saying? And I think that's something, and I'm gonna be very honest. I think that's something that in society that has kind of gone by the wayside. And I say that
Okay.
because like, and even in like, I get it, civilian side versus military side, different strokes, just different folks, right? But on that same token, on that same token, just because, like, okay, let me rephrase that. You've been taught the difference between right and wrong. You've been taught how things should be done. It doesn't matter whether you were in the military or whether like, you know what I mean? Like, you have parents, right? And whether they're a good example or a bad example, you've seen right and wrong, right?
Yeah, well, most times, like we
Yeah,
said with the like the example, that second example I gave, where you might not have or come up in a situation or some kind of setting where you have good influence. You might have,
yeah,
and I'm just spitballing. You might have somebody who just sits at home and drinks all day and just does give two shits about anything, and you have somebody else
yeah,
who's doing something else. I mean, let's face it, we all know somebody like that. They come
yeah,
out of not the best circumstances, but they make it out of there and they go and they thrive for themselves. It's like good for
yeah.
them.
And that's what I'm saying is like there's a lot of people that make excuses to not have good integrity and to
Right.
not, and it just, it boggles my mind and it bothers me because I know I do the absolute best I can in everything I do, every time, every chance I get. Am I successful? No, not 100% of the time, but you better
But you can
believe
look yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and go,
I
I
can.
did my best.
I did exactly. I can look myself in the mirror and be like, you did what you could, dude. Just
Yep.
try to move on from it. I don't
Yep.
know. I've just that's just me and my 2 cents. I don't know.
I hear you, man. So, and it's funny you mentioned, you went on that little bit of that, side note with integrity. Probably one that I get caught up in a lot of is dependability. So my
Yeah,
um my daughter asked me one time. So I had to. I went. I had a situation where my brother and his now wife were staying in a place up in Pasco County, and a storm came through and it flooded. So I had to go up. I went up there and helped him get all this stuff. I mean, there's probably 12 inches of water. And it was a lot of different mitigating factors that kind of contributed to all this thing. It was the
yeah,
zoning of it was incorrect. It was the I don't want to say too much about it, but yeah, it was not the best circumstances. So like I went that next morning and I got some chest high waders and like I waded out into his place and helped grab his stuff and bring it out on a canoe, 100 yards across the yard and stuff because they were in a pasture and all this stuff. And then after I was done there, I had to go
ooh.
over. Well,
So you were stepping in cow patty water.
well, not where they were at. It was still up by the main residence. There
Okay.
were cow pastures around them, but like there was a lake out there, and the lake had just swelled up so high that it flew over and kind of
Yeah.
spilled over to everything else.
That's
But
what
then,
happened to us during the hurricane, dude. A couple years back, freaking like I think it was the St. John's. Which river is the river that flows north in Florida? It's the only river in
St.
Florida.
John's, yeah,
Oh well, shit.
yeah,
Okay, well
St.
then, yeah,
John's.
the St. John's had
For
flooded,
every mile, it goes downhill 1 inch, and that's how it's able to flow north, which is
and
strange but
it really is,
interesting.
and it over flooded, and dude, like there were areas around here that just got so like because the St. John's actually goes right past us
Hmm.
by I don't remember how many miles, but it's not super close to where we live, but it's not also not super far. Like it
Right.
overflowed so bad
Hmm.
that dude, we could not get the hell out of here
Yeah.
during that time frame. We like literally like I drove one way. I was like, oh, that's flooded. Then I would drive into the water, and I'm like, and this is when I had my Xterra, and my SUV, that thing it came off the ground, dude.
Right.
And I'm driving. I'm like, okay, that's getting close to the hood. Maybe not. Back up. Okay, let's go somewhere else. Driving. Okay, that's also getting close to the hood. Okay, back up. It was, it
Yeah.
was, it was bad. Bad.
So after I got done, I mean, I was over there for probably a good 6, 7 hours helping him. And then after that, I had to drive over and help my boss with something in Plant City. And my daughter's like, why do you have to be the one that everybody calls on? I'm like, sweetie, I said, I'm just able to do it. I'm available. It's number one, it's my brother. Number two, my boss needs help and she's paying me for it. So, it's kind of one of them things. So,
Money,
yeah,
money,
it's
money,
sometimes
money.
sometimes these values can kind of end up biting you in the butt a little bit. So, but moving on, we have generosity. Doesn't always have to be about money. You can be generous with your time, kindness,
Yep.
or anything else. Courage.
Sadly, on that one, I got to do a lot better. I'm not exactly the most generous guy, and I'll admit that.
I think I'm
I
on the. I think I sit on the
I
fence with
try
you.
to be. I try to be.
Yeah,
Uh, I feel like life has kind of
things happen, dude. Things
made
happen.
me a little uh, not so much anymore.
Gotcha. Courage. Knowing something scares you, but doing it anyway, because we all have different fears and weaknesses. Courage looks different in everyone. Gratitude is the act of appreciating what you have. One way to practice gratitude is by writing down what you're grateful for each day.
Also, got to work on that.
Well being is being happy and healthy. When you experience long term distress, your well being suffers. That's why it's important to look after yourself. That's probably the big thing that I'm focusing on this year is just taking the time. Like,
Yeah.
my boss asked me, she's like, "Hey, are you available over spring break?" And I was like, "No, I'm gonna take some
you
time for me." Okay,
gotta,
yeah,
dude. You
but
gotta
and then
take time for yourself.
and it's funny how like when you do that, you kind of feel bad about taking time for yourself because you're
Like,
like you could be working, but at the same time, it's like you got to take care
dude,
of yourself.
you want to know how much I've been looking into well being? Like, look at this. I started looking for fucking trails nearby
There you go.
because I'm like, dude, I gotta number one start freaking. I gotta start getting back in shape. Number one,
Mm,
number
me
two.
too.
I just I even got like, dude, I even got a weight rack for my bench that I have back here. I got a weight rack for that, so I'm gonna start trying to, when I can't make it to the gym,
All
start
right,
just
that does it. You just got to move closer so we can work out together, dude. I mean, Jesus,
yeah.
just move back home. Just move back.
Yes,
That's all you got to do. Yeah,
yes, sir.
the wife's not going for that, so disregard.
Probably not.
Education. If you value education or learning, you'll love the pursuit of knowledge. The beautiful thing about life is that there's always something new to learn.
Oh yeah.
Creativity. Using your imagination for work is a sign of creativity. Whether you're writing a novel or making crafts, creativity is an expressive part of human nature. Family. Family values are important to many. Spending quality time with family is a great way to show them you care. Even if you don't come from a close family, you might want to imagine taking care of your own one day. And I say that is
Sure.
super important, especially now that my family has kind of dwindled and it's also kind of, moved away. My younger brother, my older brother passed several years ago. My younger brother now lives with his wife up in Georgia. So
Georgia.
being able to see him is not really that easy of a task anymore because he lives about 500 miles away.
Yeah.
So actually, no, it's
I
not
get
that
it,
far.
dude.
5 hours away,
Get it.
excuse me.
I am the last Alamo/Villafane in the state of Florida right now.
Yep.
Everybody else is either in Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina. Like, I am literally the last one here. Myself and my wife and kids. So it-
Yep.
we are definitely alone in terms of my side of the family. Um, we got Tisha's side of the family here,
Sure.
but they're also spread. They are spread like all over the damn state too, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, shit, we might as well be alone.
Yep. I
But
hear that.
yeah,
Self
I get it.
respect, caring about yourself and not tolerating disrespect. Sometimes this means setting boundaries even when doing so is difficult. Adaptability. Adaptability skills involve the ability to adjust to changes or difficult feelings. If you have adaptability skills, you don't let challenging circumstances stop you. Instead, you go with the flow and recognize you are capable of adjusting. Self improvement. If you're constantly looking for ways to better yourself, you value self improvement. Hard work and goal setting are
Yes.
likely big parts of your life. Uniqueness. This one, I think, also applies to not only our generation, but also to the younger ones that are out
Yeah.
there nowadays. Like, I see this a
Yeah.
lot with the kids that my daughter goes to school with, not
Yeah.
necessarily her friends or anything, but just a lot of kids in general. Valuing uniqueness means you cherish your individuality. You don't mind being different and likely love the idea of going against the grain. I think so many kids just want to copy each other, their looks, there's
Yeah.
this, there's that. It's like, just go and
See,
do your own damn
dude,
thing.
and that's the thing, dude, is like I feel like you like us Gen Xers and Zennials, me, I'm the Zennial. Because I'm kind of like that midway between millennial and Gen X. Like I'm like in between. Um, like I feel like that was the one thing that we really like.
I think that's
We
what I
were
apply for, or that's what I associate with as well, like the time
Gen
frame
X.
of it, halfway between Gen X and millennials.
Yeah, you're. I think you're more Gen X though, because I think the cutoff for them is like 83 or some shit like that.
Depends on who you ask. I was born in '84, so
Oh, really?
yep.
Oh, well. Yeah,
I probably be a
you
millennial.
could be you could be a Zennial, yeah.
Speaking of
But
which, you next time you come to Tampa, dude, we got to check out that place in downtown, the Gen X Tavern. It's got like all the video games and all the cool stuff.
do they make good old fashions?
I would have to look. You talk and I'll look. Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, like freaking. There's just there was just like this more like when you think about the generation we come from, like we were still of that part where we didn't have enough to like be able to access the internet like in an instant and be able to see what other kids are doing and have like so many people's input and see like I think we were like the last generation to be analog and the first generation to have like easy
It
access
was
to.
the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's why
um
I'm proud of the fact that like I grew up in the time I did, because
yeah,
you
absolutely.
should I love looking at these kids and showing them a rotary phone. They're like, what the hell is this? Like crank windows, like all the shit we had to do. By the way, I just looked it up. Yes.
Huh?
Old fashioned, good to go.
Oh hell
Good to
yes.
go.
So there was a
Bring your ass to Tampa, dude. We'll go.
there was a this is gonna be a tangent. I swear it's only gonna take like 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a there's okay, this is a total tangent moment for me. So there was a video I saw where young ladies complaining about how and this is like a younger, I think she's like Gen Z or some shit like that, and she's complaining about how, oh, there's no connection anymore, like their phones are so just ridiculous, there's just too much on them, like can't we just have just a regular phone, just one phone for one house that you can just plug into the wall or just have there and blah 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 and connect to the internet, whatever, blah. And I kid you not, it's like a duet video. You know how you do the people do the duet videos where they chime in after someone's doing something? This guy, he is of the Nubian persuasion. He jumps in. Yeah, I kid you not.
Nice. I see what you did there. Nice.
He goes, oh, oh, she's talking about a landline. Oh, how old am I? Oh, she's talking about a landline. Oh my gosh, she's talking about a landline phone. Oh,
That's awesome.
I was just like, oh Lord. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all.
That's amazing. Well, it's like that time, I had this young lady, she's probably close to my age and had a daughter, and
Mhm.
I picked them both up from the Strat Center downtown. This is back when I was driving for Uber, and they were both wearing evening gowns, and they went out to see like some kind of play or some kind of show at the Straz, and they get in, and the lady's like, "Can I roll your window down?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." She's like, "I've only ever seen a roll down a crank window like this in history books," and the mom just looked up in the rearview mirror. She went, I'm so sorry. I'm like, your daughter's being honest. I love this moment. We are having a moment here together. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
It was just pure unadulterated joy, man. It was just like, yes,
You could
you are
just trust
having a
kids to be
moment.
the most honest. That I kid you not. Like
Oh
it's
my God.
always and unintentionally honest
Yeah,
too.
but
They're like
most times when kids are being honest, they're being jerks about it.
they are.
We were over at Brian's house the other night. Me and Cora went over there to play a board game with him and his two daughters, and we played Monopoly.
I picked up Battleship.
Oh, buddy, yeah. So we're playing Monopoly, and I was the banker, and I had to wear my glasses. So I had my glasses on, and I just had them like on the tip of, on the end of my nose like this, so I could look at the money and the deed cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And I look, my daughter asked me a question. I kind of looked at her like this. She said, "Dad, you're staring at me with your forehead." And I went, "You're an asshole. You are such an asshole." What value is
Awesome.
that? Sarcasm. That's the value of sarcasm.
I feel like by osmosis, she has like picked up Alamo traits, which makes her even more.
No. That listen, that's the Latina traits in her coming out, dude.
That is
Her
also the
mother,
Latina traits.
she's half Puerto Rican and half Irish. So yeah, like
Oh my
I told that to the lady, the doctor that was doing my dental work, and she was like, "Oh shit." I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." She's like, "Let me stop so I don't do something by accident." Said, "That's awesome." She was cracking up.
Awesome.
Anyway, back on track. I freaking
Yes.
lost my spot. So, uniqueness. Yes. Assertiveness. This is another one I feel like could apply to the folks nowadays. The act of communicating in a confident, bold manner. If you stand up for yourself, you are being assertive.
Look up, shuffle to the book.
Assertive versus aggressive communication styles are different. Assertiveness is one of many communication styles. Giving support. Everyone needs support when they are going through a difficult phase of life. If you value giving support, you tend to lend a listening ear. My daughter very much is like that person. She is the one that like all of her friends talk to her about crazy stuff, and she offers advice. Like the kid, I don't know where she got it from, but she is like wise beyond her years. I'm just like, and it's usually like spot on, like 9 times out of 10, 9.5, 9.6 times out of 10, dude. She's like, it's like, yeah, that's a great thing to say right there. Like from what she tells me and stuff, it's wild how amazingly wise she is already.
Yeah, some of these
Just
kids, man, they surprise
man,
you. They surprise you. It's wild.
most definitely. Sustainability. Do you recycle and care about the environment? If so, sustainability is likely a value of yours. You care about the state of the world and its inhabitants. Uh, I mean, I do. It's more like I take care of the stuff that I have,
Yeah,
so I don't have to
I
go out
would
and
say
buy
that's
more shit.
that. Yeah, that's. I would say that's probably more so. Or my.
That's something I learned in the military.
Mhm.
Like take care of your equipment.
Yeah, and it'll take care of you.
By the way, while I'm reading these, you should pull up the Gen X Tavern in Tampa and look at their drink menu. There's some doozies. You should look
Mm.
that up. Just saying. Or when we're done with the show, whatever. You're
Yeah.
gonna look it up right now. So, open-mindedness. Open-mindedness means you're quite open to new perspectives. You probably like meeting new people or learning about other cultures. I think that's something most kids have somewhat, some more than others, but most of them are somewhat. I mean, they are always trying new things. Like,
Yeah.
I love how it really.
Kind of where I'm at. Like I don't mind honestly like learning new things. Like as a person myself, I like seeing the world and like everything in it. I've never been too timid to like try new things, try new foods, try new anything.
Yeah.
Uh, so I feel like I'm a fairly open minded individual person. It's just
I'd
saying.
like to see it happen more often in adults, but the kids nowadays, I
Yeah,
think, are fine. Personal growth. I'm just gonna kind of blow through the rest of these real fast. Just kind of give you some examples. So, personal growth, flexibility, frugality, um, independence, self compassion, honesty, huge. Accountability, I think, is probably one of the top three for the young kids. Like, just not they sit there and thinking that nothing's going to happen or they're not going to be held accountable. It's like it happens in young kids, and it's just like I see it in kindergarten kids already. And it's just like, okay, wow, that's like not accountability, but like where it could be potentially a problem down the road. It's just like,
yeah.
okay,
I And you can tell me if you're kind of on the same side. Like, I honestly think there's a high lack of accountability nowadays,
Oh yeah,
and I think that's what's contributing to
accountability slash passing the buck.
it. It was his
It's
fault. It was his fault. You know.
like the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally.
And then the last ones we've got accountability. Yeah, we said that one. Authenticity, wellness, loyalty, community, self-reflection. And they have some other ones I'm going to briefly glance over too. Ambition, balance, collaboration, connection, curiosity, discipline, empowerment, equity, forgiveness, hard work, humility. What is my watch doing? Oh, okay. Innovation, joy, justice, optimism, patience. Patience, patience, patience.
This guy got to work on that.
Perseverance,
I've gotten a lot better though.
purpose, reliability, and respect. Respect, I think, is another one too. Patience
That too.
is there, and respect, like,
No, respect is nowhere nowadays.
oh,
Literally
it's
nowhere.
and the fact that like you have people like when people have it, you're just like, oh wow, that's impressive. So
You're shook because you don't know. You like, especially like nowadays, like you're shook when you see it because
I don't know
oh,
what to do with
but
my hands.
but
Carmen really good. Don't know what to do with my
thank
hands. Did you just
you.
say thank you?
Hmm.
I'm Ron Burgundy. So
Literally.
anyway, so value. We wanted to get on here and talk a little bit about value. You know, what you brought with, what the military taught us, what it did, and what you brought with you, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, last thing I want to say is, you know, if you have the chance to influence the younger generation, and it doesn't come across as being like super high and mighty down from the mountaintop or something like that, and try to encourage good values in the
Or
next
like you're
generation,
trying too hard because
or
there are
like you're
some
trying
people
to.
that do that too.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I just like to act like I'm trying too hard because
You
because
bring up a
especially
very good question, and I'll ask it when you're done. I'm sorry. Let me let you finish. I apologize.
no, you're good. Especially when like I bring up like terminologies that the younger kids are using, and they're like, "Well, how do you know that term?"
Oh, I do that to mess with my daughter. I'll use a word that's not
Hmm.
really that much. She's like, "No, Dad, no." Like I said,
Hmm.
"Oh, you're not feeling my riz here." She went, "Oh dear God, Dad, no."
That's just what I was thinking. That's just what I was thinking. I said, say, saying that's because that I did that with I went on a
The
field
field
trip with
trip.
Marcus,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I forget the
It's
kid
isn't it so much fun to mess with them and try to use
the
their language? They're
kids
just like,
just kept being like, "How does he know that?" And then finally, like, I don't remember. It was like the probably the second or third time that I kept like using terms just to mess with them. They go, "Oh man, Marcus, how does he know that one? You gotta stop teaching him stuff." And I go, "It's because I got Riz." And I just looked at them, and they were like,
you just became the coolest dad on the freaking field trip, dude. No joke.
I was the
You
only
just,
dad on the
dude,
field trip.
you just bridged the gap. Oh,
Yeah,
double the cool points. You just bridged the gap,
yeah.
dude. That's amazing. So you just brought up a very good question. I want to ask you this. It's a little bit straying off topic here, but not by much. So let me bear with me here.
A little off is not. It's still on top.
Okay, let's say, hypothetically speaking, you have someone several years younger than you, okay, that wants to try to give you advice on things in life that you've already either experienced for yourself or whatnot, and they do it like habitually. How much is too much? And like, do you
Mm,
finally tell them, I was like, dude, I'm older than you. Like, seriously, like, shut up. Oh my God.
yeah. See,
Because I saw that happen. I was somewhere out in public and I saw a younger guy do this to a slightly older guy. And you could just tell mannerisms, body language, the way they dress. I'm a very observant kind of guy. I saw this and I was like,
details.
yeah, devil's in the details. 100%. Absolutely. So I saw something like that's either like a younger brother or a sibling or like a family member or something. and he's trying to teach him something, and like, I don't know if that's gonna work.
Yeah. Um. No, I'm definitely right there with you. I don't know if I could let someone that's younger than me tell me about the life I've lived.
Or
What
just life in like
see,
maybe okay, maybe that's not the best example.
and
Like
see,
maybe like they're trying to come off as like all
mm,
worldly
all
and
worldly and
wise and
wise and stuff.
traveled and
No,
experienced and like, you
and yeah,
know,
it's like, dude, and like my thing would be like, dude, I've been to more countries than you. What do you?
you've got a guy who's into Bluey trying to explain to somebody about the world geopolitical world, situation, and they've never left the state, much less the country.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know I'm throwing a curveball, but that just kind of popped
I
up.
would
And I'm
have to
like, dude, let's talk.
honestly, I would have to like respectfully just kind of be like, respectfully,
Stay in your lane.
I hear what you're saying, but I've got socks older than you.
It's kind of like, it's like the whole respect thing. When I talk about that story about the young guy who had just gotten into the army,
Hmm.
and I told him I was in the National Guard, so that doesn't count. I'm like,
That
dude, I've
don't
got more
count.
time in an army shitter than you've got in the army, so shut up.
Yeah.
You don't even try me. So I was just curious. You made me think of that the other day. We went to the mall and I saw that and I was just like, huh, there's a
Yeah.
story there.
And see, that's the thing, dude, is if I were to see it, I would just be like, and just stay my lane, walk the F off.
Speaking of which, did I tell you about the Brandon Mall?
What happened to the Brandon Mall?
They got rid of the merry-go-round over there by the food court. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's completely tore out. There's a lot of places that are still sitting vacant too. I don't think that mall is going to last 5 to 10 years. I'm thinking it's done because that's just the way everybody's going. If it's not your own
Yeah.
standalone store, the rent in there is probably just getting to the point where it's tanking a bunch of stores.
Yeah.
There's always a store coming in. They're there for a couple months. They're gone. You know,
Yeah. I don't know, man. The like malls were making a comeback for a little bit in I can't remember if they said it was I think they said it was because of Gen A. They said that Gen A like basically have been so starved. It was an article I read at probably like I don't know 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6 months ago. It was literally right before Christmas because of stats that they were looking up for like 2024 and like I think it was like from summer 2024 like through the holiday 2024, and basically Gen A are so starved for something real, for something where they can go and find and touch and feel instead of like having to shop online,
digital everything.
digital everything,
Yeah.
that they ended up going to stores and they started going like they were like, oh well, there's a mall right here, let's go to the mall, and like sales, physical sales in like physical stores actually skyrocketed for that time frame because of that demographic, because they are starved for something like I said that is
Tangible.
tangible, real. They can touch it, they can feel it. And
It's
ooh,
it's not in cyberspace.
that might be a subject we could cover, dude.
What's that?
Reality check is what we'll call the episode, and we can cover like the basically how we've got the bubble here, which is the digital universe, and then reality, and how
And
much
how does
better
that
it is.
relate to the veteran community or the military community?
We can find a way to relate it.
You're like, listen, I've got this idea in my head. We're gonna make it work.
We can make it work, dude. I'm almost positive
No,
because I'm telling you, dude. It's
I
not.
don't doubt you, man. I'm just busting balls here, bud.
No, I hear you, but I'm just saying. I think we could figure it out, dude.
For sure, we have to do some research on it. But
Yeesh.
anyway, so this is a conversation that we were had tonight on value. Hopefully, it might not have learned anything, but hey, you might have just it made you think about stuff and got the old brain bucket kicked into high gear and started
Made you
pondering
think
some things.
you could relate.
Yeah, maybe something you can relate to. So anyway, appreciate you joining us. If this was your first time, we appreciate it. If this was a repeat time, hey, we appreciate that also. Thank you for having some faith in us to come back and check it out one more time. Even if you just want to see how we make complete asses of ourselves and mess up and all that stuff, because we do that quite a bit. So
By the way, how do you like my new background, folks?
dig it, dig it.
Happy birthday, Marika. 250th
Do you
birthday.
think? Do you think we could play the intro to Team America World Police? America,
I think we
America.
can make that work.
It's so good.
We can make that work.
We'll have to, hey,
I'll find it.
if we do anything for 4th of July, we'll put that in there and we'll do some
Yes.
awesomeness. It'll be great.
America.
Fuck yeah. Oh, it's so good. That whole soundtrack is ridiculous and great at the same time. It's so good.
I'm Ron
Hey, hey,
Reed.
hey, 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 hey,
So,
hey. That's my bit. That's my bit. I'm
somebody,
so Rory. So Rory.
somebody did a
So
cut.
Rory is there. What?
Somebody did a cut of Kim Jong Un. They have like him standing in random places, just look like with his arms behind his back, just looking off into the distance, looking sad. I don't know if it was real clips of like news feeds or whatever that, but it was so hilarious, and they had
Was it
that
set to
song
that music? Oh, I love that
playing
song.
in the background.
So good. Dude, it's so good.
Oh my god! Oh, it was hilarious. I was sitting there, red in the face, just like just laughing my ass off the whole time. Oh, it was amazing. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But do your spiel, man. Do your spiel. I
Yeah,
didn't mean to
man.
cut you off.
You're good. I gotta tighten up something on my chair. It's wiggly. So anyway, so we're gonna close out the show like we always do, kind of talk about how we got started and everything else. As I mentioned before, Alamo and I have been friends since high school. He was a freshman during my senior year. That's when 9/11 happened, and it kind of obviously altered the trajectory of our destinies and our lives and stuff from there forward. We ended up both joining the military. Alamo was active duty Army. I went to the National Guard here in Florida. Whereas he went to Iraq, I went to spend a tour in Afghanistan. So we kind of have some varying experiences from the whole end of the scale, so to speak. So that kind of is what helps to bring the show together. We can kind of offer a little bit of expertise in different fields and whatnot. We also worked together for a while in the private sector at a retailer here in Tampa. We had a good friend of ours named John who used to work with us. John was an absolutely wonderful, funny dude to work with. Just, dude, funny fucker, man. Like, it just made work so much fun. It was hilarious
Mhm.
all the time. We all left there, kind of went our own ways. And then Albo and I stayed in touch, and then we reconnected um, for the first time in a while when his lovely wife Tisha asked me to take part in an event that she had with her organization called Flipside Mentorship. If you have an opportunity to do so, please check out flipsidementorship.com. They are doing wonderful things over there, all about empowering tomorrow's empowering children to make better. I forget what the hell the damn motto is, dude. You have to tell me.
Changing tomorrow today.
That's it. I can't ever remember that. It's so dumb. I can't remember that. It's crazy.
Just get it
Not
into
that's
your
not
future
dumb.
theories.
I'm trying to remember it. So she asked me to take part in an event that we did, and I absolutely was thrilled to do it. Alamo and I got to hang out, and we were like, dude, we should do something together to hang out. This was great. So he talked about doing a podcast. I'm like, dude, I don't know anything about a podcast. He said, hey, man, they put a monkey in outer space. How hard can a podcast be? And I was like, that's my kind of logic right there. Facts. Facts, my good man. So we discussed that.
Indeed.
Kind of put on the back burner. Um, Close to this time, I had I saw a post from somebody online mentioning John that he was no longer with us because he solved a temporary problem with a permanent solution and committed suicide. I reached out to that person. They said, "Yeah, that's unfortunately what happened." I uh, contacted Alamo here, and I said, "Hey man, did you hear about John?" And he was like, "No, I got to contact him. His birthday's coming up or something." I was like, "Well, you can't because he's gone." And I told him what happened. And I also told him, I was like, "Man, listen, you know that podcast we were talking about?" I was like, "I'm in. Like, let's do this." That was my like
Let's
ta-da, aha moment kind of thing. So we started talking about what we were gonna do with the podcast, what the image and the brand and the message was. So we came up with the name Battle Bros Podcast, and we also came up with the Bros Code. And what the Bros Code is it's 4 easy things you can do to help you when times get a little bit rough. If you just remember the letters, BROS, you are going to be giving yourself a chance of doing a lot better than you were before. Okay. So we're gonna go over that with you real quick. So be tenacious. No matter what you choose to do in life, do it with tenacity, do it with fervor, do it with fire in the gut, do it with a thrive, a tells the word I'm looking for. Do it with a fervor to want to exceed and do it to the best of your ability. Okay.
hell yes.
No matter what you do in life, whether it's being a parent, a mentor, being a first responder, a military for service member, um, a service worker of some type, way, shape, or form, do it to the best of your ability. Okay, go out there and give it 100%. In the words of the immortal Ron Swanson, don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. Be tenacious. R, refuse to surrender. During the path of life, we're going to come across many different things that get us turned around, sideways, discombobulated, twisted, turned around, whatever the case may be. Okay. Um, just remember to reorient yourself, bust out your map and compass if you have to. Okay. Figure out where you're at, orient your map, shoot at azimuth, and keep moving. Okay. Refuse to surrender. Oh, obliterate your obstacles. Um, Going along with the last one, the obstacles that come up, don't let them defeat you. Don't let them claim you as a victim. Okay. You claim it as a conquered challenge. Okay. Whether it's climbing over a wall, swimming through a river, whether it's, you know, breaching some type of barrier, whether explosive or vehicular means, whatever the case may be, obliterate your obstacles, keep moving towards the OBJ and hit the objective. Okay. Last but not least, S, seek out help in a time of need. As you mentioned with our friend John, he's unfortunately solved a temporary problem with a permanent solution and is no longer with us. If you feel like you need help, reach out to somebody. We are social creatures by design, okay? We should not be going through anything alone, all right? If you feel like you're in a bad spot, reach out to somebody, whether it's a friend, a family member, a coworker, a trusted confidant. If I got a problem, I'm going to call this guy or maybe 3 or 4 other people that I know I can count on. Okay.
Heck
Um,
yes.
if for some reason you feel like you don't have anybody there are options out there. Um, if you feel like you're in a bad way and you're going to harm yourself, please stop and don't do that. Okay. Reach out to somebody. If you feel like you're going to harm yourself, there's a resource such as the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. You can call them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can contact them one of several different ways. You can call the 1-800 number at 800-273-8255. Again, that's 800-273-8255, or talk 800-273 Tango Alpha Lima Kilo. You can also dial the 3-digit prefix of 988. Again, that is 988. You can furthermore contact them via text at 838255. Again, that's 838255. Once you get on with somebody, they have somebody there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Once you get on the line, you believe hit option 1 to talk to a live operator, and they will get you some assistance in your time of need and crisis. Okay, so please remember those if you feel like you're headed down the path of no return. Okay, so if you can remember those 4 things, be tenacious, refuse to surrender, obliterate your obstacles, seek out help in a time of need, you're going to have a pretty good chance of making yourself get to the next day, to the next day, and to the next day. And you can put all this badness and evilness and despair behind you. Okay. So that's all I got. I'm going to hand it off to Alamo. He's going to do the last portion, and then we're going to jump out of here for the week.
Yes, sir. Remember those 4 tenets, people, and win the war in your mind. Um, if you would like to contact us on the social medias, we are on pretty much all of them. And there are multiple different ways you can do that. Obviously, you could go to Facebook and you can check us out at facebook.com/battlebros.podcast, or you can search that in the search bar in your app. You can also search for us on the Instagram. If you're on the app, just go and search us at battlebros_podcast. And if you're on the X, go ahead and search for us at BattleBrosPC. Very, very simple, at BattleBrosPC, where you can instant message us on every single one of those. Let us know how we're doing. Comment on, how you liked our latest episode. Let us know if there's a certain subject you want to talk about. Hey, we're all ears. We want to hear what you guys have to say. And we also want to see what you guys want to talk about and what you guys want to hear about, because, hey, what you want to talk about makes the most sense to us. You know what I mean? We don't want to keep, we'll keep on coming up with subjects, but we don't want to keep coming up with subjects and just, start pissing in the wind eventually. We want to know what you guys are actually thinking about. So, also, if there is a private way that you would like to talk to us, you can go ahead and message us at battlebrospc@gmail.com. That is battlebrospc@gmail.com. That is our direct email where you could drop us messages and, again, say the same thing over and over. Or if, it was something a little bit more private where you want to say, hey, you helped me get out of a kind of shitty spot, or you helped my brother, my sister, whatever, get out of kind of a shitty spot just by being you guys. We appreciate that too. And honestly, for us, even if it's just one, for us, it's that's what matters the most is, even if it's just one person, because at the end of the day, one person is a victory. To stop that person from, making a permanent decision that's going to change the rest of their family's lives, and their friends. It's Mac and I say it all the time. It's not always about you, and you have to factor these things in, because you're, at the end of the day, you're not just taking yourself out of the equation. You're taking yourself out of the equation, and then you're taking yourself out of the equation for your family, which can sometimes be more detrimental. So keep that in mind, folks. Keep that in mind before you make a bad decision. And if you follow the steps that we talked about, if you follow the steps that we try to suggest, like Mac always says, I think you're gonna be just fine. If you guys want to catch up with us on other platforms, there are multiple platforms you could do that. You could, follow us on Rumble, where if you go to rumble.com, or if you have the app, you could just search Battle Bros, all one word, in the search bar, and then send it, and you'll find pretty much most of our episodes on there. It kind of sucked for a little bit. I guess YouTube and Rumble got into a little bit of a licensing kind of debacle, and for whatever reason, whenever we would record here, it stopped recording and going directly to Rumble. But that's an issue that's been getting fixed by me slowly but surely uploading everything. But we're getting there, folks. We're getting there. So most of our episodes for them are going to be on the Rumble as well. If you like listening to us audio only, you can do that on Spotify. You could do that on iHeartRadio. You can do that on Google Podcasts. Pretty much most of the major podcast platforms. Um, the main one being Spotify. Um, and the cool thing is that on Spotify now, if you watch one of our episodes or listen to one of our episodes on there, you can actually comment in the comments section. There's now comment sections in the Spotify where you guys can actually say things, and you could even say, "Hey guys, what's up?" or "Hey guys, talk about this next time. This was really interesting." Blah blah blah. Share, comment, 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 because the more you show the algorithm that you're interested, the bigger and better we'll grow, and the bigger and better, and the more farther reaching we'll get. Um, that's really as simple as it is, man. Like for us, I mean, monetarily speaking, I mean, we don't really get really doodly squat from this. Um, but it's really about sharing the message, and sharing is caring. And the more you share, the more you listen, the more you share this with others, the further it's going to go. And that's, at the end of the day, that's really all that matters. If we go for years and years without making a red cent off of this, which, I mean, whatever, it's cool, as long as the message gets out there and we're talking to the right people or the right person, even if it's just one. Um, that's it. That's all I got, man. Just keep by the tenets, and share it. Share the message. Don't be stingy with it. Share it to who you think needs it.
Awesome. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. So again, folks, thank you so much for being part of this with us tonight. If you're listening to it live, or if you're listening to it in the safety of your own home or in your car while you're going for a drive, hey, appreciate that too. This has been episode 127, entitled Value: What the Military Taught Us and What It Didn't, with the Battle Bros podcast. Again, my name is Mac. My co-host here is Alamo. Thank you so much for joining us. And just please remember, as always, be tenacious, refuse to surrender, obliterate your obstacles, seek out help in a time of need. If you can do that, it's going to give you a good shot of getting to a better place the next day and then moving on from there. We will see you down the road. Please take it easy. Have a good night, and be kind and rewind.
Great motto.
Oh, yeah.
Battle Bros out.